Back with a review. I recently, in fact, I just showed this a couple days ago in my pickup video. Kino's release for The Mask, 1961. Kind of felt duty bound to do a little video to share my thoughts on this one because it was outstanding. If you like 60s, 70s grindhouse, psychedelic type movies, this is going to be right up your alley. It's a really interesting film. It's the first Canadian full-length horror film directed by Julian Rothman, who his main claim to fame was doing a lot of documentaries. I don't think he got the recognition for establishing Canadian cinema that he should have. This is a very interesting film. I wish he'd have done a lot more. He did the Asphyx also with Karen Black. He's done other movies, but it was kind of sparse and not quite as prolific as I would have wanted based on this film. But anyway, this is about a mask that causes people to go into these psychedelic trips and eventually go insane and commit murder. A lot of it, I think, is predicated based on what is within that inner person, more so than with the mask. The mask is kind of an allegory for addiction. The film has like 3 psychotic sequences, really surreal LSD drug-induced driven sequences that really have to be seen to be believed. They were shot in Analgraph 3D, and it looks really, really good on 3D TV. It was outstanding. It's the cinematography and those montage images that are in this film were created by a guy named Slavko Vorkapich. And he really is an interesting. There's a number of actual other films, short films that he's done on this disc that are also just as interesting. But those psychotic images, drug-fueled images that only could be part of some kind of a bad 60s LSD trip. I got to give kudos to Slavka for that because it really propels the film along. And it's downright kind of unsettling, some of the sequences. Paul Stevens plays the doctor in this film. Paul Stevens went on to be, he actually had a role in Patton with George C. Scott, and then he did some TV work. He was also in Beneath the Planet of the Apes as well. So he's had a pretty interesting career. He's the main character in this, and he's a doctor that stumbles upon the mask after this guy he's treating is going nuts and tells him about the mask. He gets his hands on the mask, and when basically it's really kind of William Castle type scenario where you get this voiceover that says, "Put the mask on," and when you put the mask on, you get the 5-minute Slavka psychedelic treatment. It's a real treat and very unsettling, actually. I got to give it credit for being a 1961 film. It's those sequences are very effective and very spooky. But essentially, the sequences, the whole film is really just an allegory of addiction. It's not, The Mask is an allegory for addiction, addictive personalities. And I think it's a kind of an anti-drug statement film. Very good. Whether you look at it as a horror film, a fantasy film, or science fiction, however you want to look at it, it's really a fun little 88-minute film. It's really worth your time and attention. There's also on this a 20-minute documentary about Julian Rothman, the director. And as I said, there's a number of shorts that were done by Slavka, and one 3D short that's a UK production. One Night in Hell. Outstanding stuff. This is highly recommended Kino release. I can't recommend it any more that I'm doing right now. I would jump on this quickly and get you a copy of it. Even if you don't have a 3D TV, the sequences look really good, even in 2D, because it's analograph. So you definitely need to check this out if you're a grindhouse aficionado, or you kind of like the 60s sleazy, semi-sleazy type films, the drug induced kind of films. That this is gonna resonate with you, I think. Yeah, so that's The Mask, 1961, Canadian first full-length feature Canadian horror film. Julian Rothman. Highly recommended. I give this a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching and have a good weekend.